Welcome to HASSCAST 40. I'm the host, Mike Hass, and if this is your first HASSCAST you've seen, this is a podcast where I review the latest and greatest TV show episodes or films. I talk about some movie news, and then after the movie section, we go into some new hip-hop. Talk about like a new hip-hop album or mixtape, or a new hip-hop single, and then we get into some, hip-hop news real quick, and then we go into like a nostalgia case, check out like a very old, movie that is from my past or something like that. And let's get right into it. This is the 40th episode. If you were here for the first episode, thank you. And I'm gonna stick with this setup from now on. Very simple. Just have a little monitor up, showcasing, what I'll be talking about, just little images type shit. Let's get right into it. First subject we're going to talk about is the Mandalorian Season 2. I haven't talked about the previous two episodes, but the third episode came out this week. And I just kind of want to talk about, like, the latest episodes, kind of review them, talk about what really went down in them. But, like, let's just get right into it. I love the first season. Let's just talk about the first season. First season was pretty good. Like, it was very kind of, like, gets you back to that samurai roots, or the Western roots, because, like, in the hero's journey type of thing, with, like, very, protective of everything. Like he wherever he goes, he's always protecting someone, but he still has his little self-interest at times, which is maintaining the Mandalorian creed. This sort of weird culture he's a part of. And like he can't take off his helmet or some shit. Like he's a very distinct person. Boy stands out. Obviously Pedro Pascal, and then he's protecting Baby Yoda, or the child, as he's called on paper. But nobody calls him the child. Like, who actually calls him the child? You know what I mean? Like, who actually says, like, who actually, like, refers to Baby Yoda as the child? Nobody. The answer is nobody. Nobody says that, okay? Like everybody's like, and even, oh my god, I saw these people, this space, the astronauts that went up on SpaceX to the space station or whatever, they had Baby Yoda in their spaceship. I can find it. I'm searching this up. SpaceX Baby Yoda. That's so funny. Look at that. We're zooming in on that. That's so fun. Like, that's how this show is a great show. Is astronauts are bringing a toy from the show up to space. Like, that is fantastic. Like, that's what I'd bring if I were to bring anything. That's what I'd bring. 'Cause, like, iconic, you know what I mean? And for the whole season so far, Mandalorian has had his jetpack and everything. And I just kind of want to talk the third episode, though. I'm gonna be honest with you. The frog lady reunites with her husband after the Mandalorian kind of like helps this lady out to get to her husband with, like, the her species, like her eggs. And it's funny, is like in the previous episode, Baby Yoda eats her eggs, like, because they're carried in a thing, because she's like a reptilian or a frog type of creature or something, amphibian or so. And Mandalorian learns that a couple of Mandalorians have been seen locally, and these Mandalorians are actually a couple Clone Wars characters, so that's interesting to see. They're bringing in some, like, Clone Wars members, casting real people to play them, the girl with the red hair. And it turns out that the Mandalorian, the main Mandalorian in the show, descends and is learning from Mandalorians that are a breakaway civilization. They're not like normal. Like, they're not from the Mandalorian, like, world, because, like, they're kind of low-key scared of Mandalorian. the Mandalore world, like the the Mandalorian is scared of the Mandalorian world and is looked down on because of like the amount of division they have and all this stuff, and they're kind of like they're very sticking to their traditions. And I feel like it's a very interesting aspect is that there's many different types of Mandalorians. They're not all the same. They're not generalized as one type of being group. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they kind of stop a Imperial ship because like there's remnants of the Empire. They stop an Imperial ship from like delivering guns and stuff. These Mandalorians, like the different Mandalorians and the other Mandalore. So that happens. They have a cool, interesting dynamic, and he kind of helps them out and stuff, and they kind of invite him to join on future missions. But yeah, that's an interesting little episode right there. So I watched this with my friend Alex. Now I'll talk about that later, but at the end of the episode, the Mandalorians tell the Mandalorian about Ahsoka Tano, which is a Jedi from the Clone Wars. So that's an interesting thing, is that they're talking about like one of the most legendary Jedi, because what the Mandalorian is trying to do is take Baby Yoda to other Jedis, because everybody's like, oh, he's asking about like what is this creature? What's the significance of the creature? Obviously, the creature has force powers, so nobody really knows where other Yodas are or species of Yoda. So they say, bring him to the Jedi. Like, there's no name for, like, I found it very interesting that they're not going to take him to Yoda's species, and they're going to take him to other Jedi. So what the Mandalorian does is find out that Ahsoka Tano is another Jedi, and in the next episode, he's going to find Ahsoka Tano. And that's going to be very interesting to see the live action performance of that character, because the only time she was ever seen beforehand is in the Clone Wars animated TV show. So that's a very interesting aspect to see. And I'm overall just hyped as shit to see like Ahsoka Tano in person. And I want to know who the bad guy is. And I want to see the Moff Gideon played by Giancarlo Esposito of Breaking Bad. I want to see like him face off with Ahsoka Tano with the Darksaber. But then again, I don't want there to be lightsaber fights because I want it to be different. But then again, have me's like, oh, I've always seen a Star Wars lightsaber fight. I don't know, we'll see. So, what'd you think of Mandalorian season 2 episode 3? Just came out recently. Yeah, came out 5 days ago. I think it was pretty fire. I'm just, every episode has been hyping me up. So I'm watching this with my friend Alex. We were eating bison a while during this, and the bison was it was pretty good. We ground bison, put it in a burger, But we were talking about how we'd wish we would have killed the bison and gotten like back to our hunter-gatherer roots where we used to like hunt for food. Like we had this deep conversation. Like I was kind of boring to buy food from like a grocery store. Like I kind of just want to like. I want to subscribe to the Eat What You Kill movement. I want to try that out. I mean, I don't have problems killing like mosquitoes. Like if I can kill something that I'm eating, why not? And I used to be vegetarian, so this is out of the box thinking for me. You probably don't know that, but like I'm just saying. But anyways, let's get into the next TV show. TV show called Grand Army. This TV show was released about a month ago, but I saw the whole season. Interesting little TV show about students at this Brooklyn high school, and it's about a modern like struggles they go through and shit. Very weird TV show. Like not weird, but like the way I describe it is like it's like modern Degrassi. Like Degrassi had like a lot of like pretentious, overly stated issues that teenagers go through, and that's what the Grand Army does. Like everything's very exaggerated, but it makes sense, and they are real issues in society, such as discrimination, sexist tendencies in schools, hate crimes, bombings, anti-Semitism, like all that sensitive social topics are touched on in here. So if you're looking for something like that, makes you think about current America show for you. Grand Army is a good show. But like, come on, it's a bit exaggerated at times, and you can tell when an old person writes dialogue for younger like people, like actors or actors of a certain like type of way of looking or something like that. You know what I mean? Like you can tell that an older person was like, we should write the word lit. That's what the kids say. Like, and I can't diss them for that. Like they're trying to make it more enjoyed by younger audiences. I can't say that's horrible. You know what I mean? I can't sit and tell you that that's a horrible thing, but it is the annoying. And I'm not going to use a C word. I don't like using cringe. It's an annoying word. It's an annoying word. People think that they're like of higher intelligence when it's just a word. I don't understand what people think like words determine how intelligent they are, like how they say that. But then again, I just judge someone for saying words. So I love being a hypocrite. Being a hypocrite's very interesting. I'm a hypocrite a lot. Admit it. If you're listening or watching, you are a hypocrite. Everybody's a hypocrite. They always say something that contradicts themselves. Be able to call yourself out on it. This is calling yourself out on stuff is a great thing to do. But yeah, my favorite character of the show was Dom. She's a Haitian American high school junior from, the school. She's on the basketball team, but she's like a very like young entrepreneur type of character, and she comes from a very traditional household, but she's like out of all the characters have this like horrible traumatic event happen to them, or they inflict it on others, and she's like the only character who like doesn't tap into her violence and doesn't have a lot of traumatic events, because she doesn't tap into like the horror. Like she doesn't try and confront everybody by issues. Like she just kind of sticks to herself and focus on what makes her better to like the small people around her. Like she's not always trying to branch out and like be with people that aren't like, she doesn't make anything forced upon herself. Like she doesn't force any stress on herself. She's just like a very smart young woman who's trying to make a good life for herself and her family, and she's not tapping into like she indulges, like she has like a relationship in the show, but she doesn't let that like define her. Like she says like, this is the time for this is the time for that. She's like actually like very good, well written character, and and she's also like a part of very good programs within the school. Like it sounds like I'm talking like about like a student that like gets like a degree or something. Like I'm talking like it's like I'm a teacher talking about like one of my students, because like she's just one of those people that is going to be successful, and like she's like what all the other characters in the show are not, and that's what makes her the best character, is because while she has a couple flaws every now and then, she doesn't let that get to her. She doesn't let that define her and make her stop doing things. She keeps on going. She keeps on pushing. Compared to all the other characters in the shows, who are mostly all the other characters in the shows are just whiny little bitches. Like most of them, like not all of them, they're all well acted. But I can tell you, like you can tell that these actors and actresses are like fucking 21, like except for the skinny drama kid who was with Layla at the end of the show. You could tell he's like a little bit young, but like I can always tell when someone is playing someone that's not their age. It's an instinct. That's what happens when you watch a lot of movies and look up people that act in those movies. Like it's a joke in like in Scary Movie, they were like this, like when they were talking about how the killings in the school, they were like, oh, this should be made into a movie, and they cast people in their late 20s to play people in their late teens. Ha ha ha. But like when you look up the actual actors in the TV show, they're literally what they're describing. That's like satire or whatever. But yeah, Grand Army, it's like if you're looking for like very good modern social drama about teens and modern issues, interesting. And at the end of the show, everybody's life's doing pretty fine. And then someone, here's a little podcast news. This girl like listens to the podcast and stuff, and you can hear one of them listening to a podcast about a COVID-19 is getting serious. So like all their happy shit, it just gets like thrown out the window. Like she gets like an internship thrown, goodbye. You're gonna have to wear a mask now every time you go out in public. Like, that shit is funny to me, and it shouldn't be, because it's a horrible crisis we're all going through. But like, everybody's life is so great in the show towards the end, and they're just like, nope, goodbye. Like, you don't see them in quarantine. Like, it's just like a little audio clip played before the end of the show. But you could tell that, like, this second season's about to be so fucking ass. Like, for their lives, for the characters' lives. I bet the show's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be so well written, and so much modern stuff has happened that is very, like, so much current events have happened that are interesting. But you could tell it's gonna be like a hard life on these characters, as it has been a hard life for us currently. Unless you gotten your ass up and realized, like, you can't live in fear, and you should still go out in public and, like, get a job and figure your life out. You know what I mean? I can't get behind, like, if someone's been inside their house since March, the only people that have probably been inside their house since March are, like, billionaires that, like, have, like, 30 underground bunkers hidden around the world, you know. But I don't know anyone. I hope I meet one of them, you know, or hope I be one of them. I have myself an underground bunker just in case, you know, nuclear war. Oh, what's gonna happen? Who's going to my bunker? I bet there's, like, so many. I bet there's a bunker under my house that I don't even know about, that, like, Bill Gates owns or some bullshit. You know what I mean? Yeah, Green Army, good ass show. But occasional, you could tell sometimes what was going on behind the scenes. Well lit, I'll give it that. Well lit, I'm not gonna say well shot. Like, if someone tells you what was your favorite part of the movie, and you say the great cinematography, that's not an answer. That's just something you've said before or heard someone else say. Say what you like about the cinematography. So, for instance, right now I'm gonna say it's well shot due to the gray color palette and the more realistic looking tone of everything, and the lighting at parties was very interesting when a intense moment was happening, and it was very blue and red because it was in the winter, and those are the colors, like blue and purple is a better way of saying, so it's like very purple and blue, and that's what the winter is like because it's set during the winter basically, or, you know, fall to winter. That's an answer. That's my answer, instead of saying, I love the show because of the cinematography. Oh, so fantastic. Hey, get out of here with that shit. Alright, movie news. Wonder Woman 84 confirmed to release in theaters and HBO Max on December 25th. I just said it's December 25th instead of saying Christmas. Basically, it's just coming out Christmas. Hybrid release, HBO Max, as it's going to be on the Warner Brothers streaming program, HBO Max, and a program sound like someone from the 80s. Anyway, streaming service, HBO Max, as well as being on theaters. I'm going to theater. I'm not getting HBO Max until the Snyder Cut. And by the way, Snyder Cut trailers look so like, they look like trailers that, like, Zack Snyder edited while he was naked after a shower. Like, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna piece together a couple clips and put one of my favorite songs from the most pointless scene of my movie, which is the sex scene from Watchmen. Like, it's literally just two people fucking to, like, Hallelujah. Maybe he was looking for, like, the religious irony, like, oh my god, like, I don't know. It's just funny to see, like, I almost, like, what Zack Snyder, he's either, I'm really conflicted when it comes to Zack Snyder. I'm either, like, he's either brilliant with, like, his filtering in the time of certain shots, or he's like, all right, let me slap a gray filter on and slow everything down every 3 seconds, and then it looks cool, and that's it. I'm gonna go to bed. Like, half me thinks he either thinks that, or he thinks, like, I'm gonna slow it down at this point to put the emphasis on this moment and the this and that and the third. I do respect his vision though, and I respect that he's getting able to redo something. That's, like, probably, like, I'm not going to tell you it's the first time we've ever seen that happen. I'm pretty sure, like, director's cuts aren't unique, but it's cool to see it in the modern age when directors are, like, the least controlling person in a majority of movies made. You know, what did, yeah, this is a quote from Jeremy Jahns. Jeremy Jahns stated, he's a film critic, he said, having producers tell the director what to do in a movie is like having Helen Keller be a guest judge on America's Got Talent. Looks deaf and dumb. Yeah, that's what Jeremy Jahns, that's what I quote Jeremy Jahns on, talking about like directors and their involvement within movies compared to, you know, having a producer tell the director what to do. It's a stupid idea. And shout out Jeremy Jahns, if you're ever watching. Big fan of your criticisms. Yeah, that's what I gotta say about that. Talk about one of the best albums of the year. Jace, I'm his manager, actually. And I interviewed him a couple months ago, and I interviewed him twice for Slash Baker, so I interviewed him 3 times total. So Jace, right, comes out with his debut album, XXX. He calls it a mixtape. I'm calling it an album. I'm his manager. But like, listen. This is a great. I know you're gonna be like, oh, this is gonna be a biased review. But like, if I didn't like his music, why else would I be a manager of him? Like, I'm gonna be his manager because I like his music. Let's get into it. Jace, the intro has a sort of spacey, bouncy, uplifting beat to a romantic verse from Jace, and this verse is very like just talking about like happy aspects of a girl he's with, and it's very it's a good, like, he's like talking about like dropping bombs like Osama, like he has some funny lines that stick out, and like he showed me this line. I was just hanging out with him in his car, and he just kind of showed me this line, and I was like, if you put that in a song, I'm gonna remember that. And like a couple months later, I hear it in a song, and I'm just like, damn, that's fire. And then Lee comes on. I got Lee to do the feature for this. Lee drops probably his best rapping verse. I'm gonna say his best verse, but he's like made a couple thousand off a single, and I ain't played a single show. That one line is just iconic, cause like Lee, he has like a couple songs out, and that first song was just like instant hit. I followed him, promoted him, reviewed his single. It's a song called Forever, by the way. Look that up. Just look Lee Forever. Fantastic song. If you want someone to bring back that like 2000s R&B and rap, like the late 2000s, you know what I'm talking about. Lee's the one for you. Like, if you like Lloyd if you like Young Money members, Lee's like, you know. By the way, Young Money is one of the greatest rap groups of all time. But this intro is like, there's a reason it's the intro. If you want to get someone's attention, show them this song. Okay? I'm going to say, there's 10 tracks on here. It's a 10 out of 10 album, bro. Like, I'm just going to be honest. All 10 tracks get added to the playlist. I'm going to say that for now. The next song is called Fuck Love. I'm going to be honest. I don't like the title, but I like the song. Like, this title is just said too much. And I know, Jace, you're a big fan of Kid Laroi, but we get it. You know, you get sad every now and then, you say fuck love. I've literally told someone that I've been in a relationship, I'll be like, fuck love. Like, this shit's so ass. Like, certain things, you know, common saying, but it's getting annoying. I'm gonna be honest. But the song's pretty good. The acoustic beat, you know, the way he matches his flow with the instrumental is perfect. And the mixing's good, but like every now and then, like you're mixing and the way you record, like, I hear that saliva, bro. We all hear the saliva occasionally. But keep it stacked. The next song's Fast with Stoner X. Stoner X kind of has, I interviewed him, definitely check that out, and he has this sort of captivating, sort of wavy way he rides the beat, and his ad-libs on the song are outstanding. Like, and Jace's verse, it's like, it's not the most specialist verse, but it's iconic, and like the way the beat, what do you think the beat is? What do you think the pace of the beat is fast beat. Like, it's just like one of them like workout songs, not like hardcore workout songs, like fun. This is like a fun song, if I were to say. And Stoner X, like, he's a presence. He's a presence, and there's a reason I had to get Jace to do a song with him. Like, the way he the way he stands out in the song with just a couple ad libs. Like, he says, like, in the beginning, he's like, Jason Stoner X have been this motherfucker. Like, it's just iconic. It's iconic. All Right is my favorite song off of it. It's like, what Jace does is, like, he gives you, with the most of his good songs, he gives you, like, a little update on how he's doing and who he's rocking with. But then he occasionally, like, he gives you that motivation. When I interviewed Jace for his Slash Bakery article about this, album, I was like, what do you think someone listening is going to get when they're done listening to this? And he said, it'll be all right. Because it will be all right. We all have those tough times. You're thinking, like, this is not the most unique form of self-help, but it's just a simple fact that you got to stick with, we all have those things we don't want to do, but then when we're done doing things we don't want to do, we do what we want to do, okay? You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, All Right, it's just a fantastic song. What's good is, like, there's such a good contrast between beat selection with this album. There's the acoustic beat selection, Kid Laroi inspired, but he does it better than Kid Laroi. And then there's that spacey, chill, work type of beat. Or Slat It Out's like, she put in work, like A$AP Ferg. Like, bro, fire, outstanding. Let's be honest with ourselves. The Kobe joint, Tizzy T is like, he has a presence. He's funny as shit. Like, his verse, and he's like rhyming shit with sushi. Like, I haven't heard that before. I love that. Like, sushi rhyme scheme, sushi groupie, like all that aspect, fun as shit. Lil Cena give this sort of boyish, whiny, but interesting sort of song about, like, how he's too far gone in the unknown. Like, he's been into a couple negative things. Like, I love that little concept. The You song with Paul Butler was interesting. Paul Butler's been experimenting this new auto-tune processing and vocal processing. Very interesting. When I first heard it on Old Habits Die Hard, I was a bit like, what is this? But then with this song, he does it way better and gives a more relatable verse. The End of the World with Chuck Looney. Chuck Looney gives one of the best verses I've heard. End of the World is very similar to All Right. Very motivational, very helpful to those listening. Jace sings very well on Fly. It's probably the best verse I've heard him sing on. But overall, like, solid ass album. I just feel like Lil Cena. I feel like Lil Cena's solo work is alright, but, like, his features that he's been on, like, he's been on a song with Slat It Out, like, they're great. And I feel like Lil Cena is gonna grow. Like, and I feel like whatever he does next has to be better than Too Far Gone. It was good, but, like, what he does next, it's got to be fire. Jace is only going to go up from here. His next release is February 14th, Valentine's Day is a Valentine's Day release. Thanks for checking in with that. Jace, if you're listening, there's a reason I'm your manager. It's because I fuck with your music, okay? Yeah. Let's review a new sxmpra song. Came out 8 days ago, but it's like an iconic track. It's got like 4,000 plays already. Schema Posse member. My favorite line from sxmpra in the song and in his whole career is, "Fuck the system, never listen to a man in a tie." Isn't that the truth? Isn't it annoying having men in a tie decide how much you pay monthly? All this dumb shit. One line that just means so much and is timeless. sxmpra raps over this sort of funk beat, heavy kick and cowbell basis, like in the bottom of everything. I mean, not as much as other songs, but, like, what he does is a funk type of music in a lot of his discography. Very J Green Memphis sounding. In this day and age, there's so much artists perfecting the sound. Teddy Slugs, other Schema Posse members. sxmpra is rapping faster than anyone else, and his flows are above anyone else in the game right now. sxmpra is better than anybody on XXL, and all of his discography is just basically flawless, and he does it better than anybody else. And I love his album covers. His aesthetics interesting. He's a very quiet person, but on his Instagram, but like he's so like whenever he's in the song, you can tell he has so much to say. Well, he might like not talk so much shit on social media, because like who needs another rapper that talks shit on social media? They all do that. He's just kind of chill, calm, and then when he spits his verse, and it's outstanding. You know what I'm saying? And he's the best thing to come out of Schema Posse since Lil Peep. Like that's what I gotta say, man. And he just never stops putting out fire verses, and he's actually a really good singer. He sounded like in the Once Again We Walk song, that was so fire, bro. That was outstanding. Definitely check out anything sxmpra's done. I'm gonna play a little bit of it just because I'm a huge fan, and I want y'all to hear this. Switching flows like tomorrow. I'm gonna skip to the Man in the Tie joint. Listen to a man in the tie. Time to talk. And there's like that brass instrument in the background. Fantastic. Outstanding. Nobody does it better than sxmpra, man. Like, gosh. I want to see Jace and sxmpra do a song, but I don't know if that's going to happen, But it'd be cool, I'm his manager. I could set that up. Nostalgic Case. Roll it. Let's just do a quick little nostalgia case on this very interesting movie about like a guy who gets paralyzed after seeing someone be a close loving a love interest die. Anyways, he gets attacked by someone, and then he's kind of like injected with this thing called STEM, which like rejuvenates his brain, and this like computer talks to him, but he uses this to like sort of get revenge on his like loved ones killers. And goes down this dark path of like this AI telling him what to do. And the tagline is "Not man, not machine, more." But Lee Winnell just does so good with this. It's just so fantastic, and it's like a better version of Venom. If I were to describe it in a more broad term for you to think about, it's like a better version of Venom. Venom is a great movie, but this is better. It's just a better example of this dark thing, like a Twilight Zone or Black Mirror episode where like the ending is very dark and it makes sense, and it's about the fears future will happen and of what will happen in the future. But like I feel like we shouldn't fear what's gonna happen in the future with technology. We should sort of embrace it. But I feel like maybe that's scary too. Like robots are so scary. Like that's what the next nuclear bomb is like artificial intelligence. And I'm quoting a Joe Rogan episode. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I can't lie to you right now. That's quoting a Joe Rogan episode. It's just the truth. It's like this shit's scary. It's scary, man. It's scary. We don't know who will be making like the decisions for us. We might be like injected into like a computer. Like this will be all like our phones will be carried by like our like bodies or our glass. Like we'll have some special glasses. We don't know, and that's what's scary. And that's what this movie shows, is that it can be scary, it can be horrible, and it can take over your mind. But the way the robot takes over in this is way more brain induced and way more about the brain and what happens with this character wanting to attack these people, and like how it's like he just throws up out of nowhere, like, and now he's like injecting these pills in him when like he's paralyzed and shit, and how like he's kind of found his own purpose again with this. But then he ends up like the AI ends up controlling everything, and it's a very tragic movie. But like the way the action scenes are shot, are like they're shot in a way that shows that this character is not in control of his actions. Because whenever he's fighting, it's the robot taking over and fighting. He's like, I'll give you permission. Like, he tells the robot in his head, he's like, I give you permission to take over and kill this person. And that's how it happens. And from the team behind it, it's one of the creators of Saw. So that's enough for you to hopefully be like, whoa, might be fantastic, which it is. Definitely check this one out. Came out 2 years ago. When it came out, I was like just getting into movies and stuff, so it was a very pivotal time in my life. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen in theaters. Saw it twice in theaters, and actually on the DVD. Yeah, check this out. Oh shit, it's so bad now. You know what I mean, though. It's a good enough movie to get on DVD. I don't get shitty movies on DVDs. It's a waste of my money. A lot of people collect shitty movies on DVDs just to collect them. Couldn't be me, bro. Couldn't be me. Only pet peeve is that the villain in this movie, not the main villain. The main villain is the robot in his head. One of the villains in the movie looks like Kip from Napoleon Dynamite. Let me guy upgrade movie. Yeah, this is what the bad guy looks like in the movie. And I'm gonna look up Kip from Bro, they look exactly the same. That's the funniest shit. But yeah, that's all we got to say. And the HASSCAST 40. Thanks for watching or listening. I gotta pee. Be casting out my thoughts to you on the next HASSCAST.